So for the past 3 days, there's been a ceasefire or a cease of aggression between the U.S. and Iran. I mean, Iranian proxies are still putting forward a few drones here and there, but there's a the U.S. has stopped its massive bombardment of Iran. Oh, and guess what? Surprise, surprise. They're reaching out to Iran to have diplomatic talks. So, Gordy, do you see the pattern here? Over and over again, the U.S. will bomb the bejesus out of
Yes.
Iran.
Yeah.
Iran will bomb the bejesus out of the U.S. bases. Then the U.S. says, let's take a break and negotiate. We've seen this pattern. It's happened 3 or 4 times in this war. We know what it's about, Sagodi. Anybody who has common sense, you don't need to have a PhD to see that the U.S. runs low on munitions. The stock market starts to look untenable. Oil prices start to rise. So the U.S. has to take a break to reload and continue what I would call its long-term plan to destabilize and destroy uh, Iran, the same way it did with Syria, the same way it did with Libya, and the same way it did with Iran. And this is written in paper, the Wolfowitz papers, which were leaked in 1992. They basically said the long-term plan is to destabilize all those countries and also in conjunction with building the Greater Israel Project. So anybody who thinks that these next negotiations will work out, you're fooling yourself. They'll talk for a couple of weeks. Then when the U.S. Has enough firepower rebuilt and the stock market is stable and gas prices go down, they'll resume this again. This is going to be a long-term war. Um, Before I give you the history of how this goes back to Biden, where Biden was bombing Iranian sites in Syria, and they're not going to stop until either America goes broke or Iran breaks down or America loses. This will continue. I don't think America will win. So I think this is going to be a long-term war, and eventually the American economy will fall under the weight of all of its imperialism and won't be able to sustain these wars, and it'll slowly disappear. I think that's what's going to happen. But what do you think? What are your general thoughts about this, Segodi? Nobody should be holding their breath now when they say Trump is saying he wants to work out a deal again with Iran. We know that this is a pattern of renegotiation. Or what do you think? What are your thoughts, Segodi?
No, my thoughts is, I mean, America is doing this on purpose. They're doing a stop and go uh, wars with Iran. They'll do a war, stop it, another small war, stop it. But the main thing we know, they just want to make sure that they're destabilizing the economy of Iran and the Middle East so that they can be able to maintain who they are. Like they want to maintain the dollar to be powerful. And then now Iran is one of the most powerful country in the Middle East, which is defending countries like you see Palestine. So if Iran is destabilized, like the whole Middle East will be controlled by Israel and the United States, so they can do whatever they want there. They can even, because already Saudi Arabia is it's under them, uh, the UAE is under them, so the only problem is Iran. So they'll keep on
Yeah,
doing this work to make sure that Iran is not stable. But in
yeah,
the long run, we see where this is going because China and Russia are watching them. Later on, they cannot sustain it for forever. Later on, America is going to fall.
yeah. So here's the timeline. 2001 to 2009, George Bush labeled Iran as part of the axis of evil. This was after September 11th. Increased sanctions and pressure while fighting wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. 2009 to 2017, Obama combined sanctions with diplomacy, leading to the nuclear agreement. As soon as Obama left, Donald Trump withdrew from the JCPOA meeting, which was trying to stabilize relations with Iran and stop them from making nuclear weapons. And in the middle of negotiations, he killed General Soleimani and walked away from the nuclear program. And then later on, he says he wants to go to war with Iran because of the nuclear program. You killed their person who gave a peace deal, and now you're trying to do a peace deal with nuclear, which would be the same thing that Obama did. Biden tried to revive the nuclear deal while simultaneously, when Trump went out the first time, Biden tried to revive the nuclear deal while simultaneously ordering repeated strikes against Iran backed groups in Syria and Iraq and maintaining most sanctions. Then, when Trump came in last year, he did a 12-day war. Him and Israel did a 12-day war with Iran and tapped out. Then this year, he started the war. 40 days, he said, oh, it's over. Uh, signed, started it again, signed a memorandum of understanding in which you're not supposed to attack each other's allies. But meanwhile, he didn't stop Israel from attacking Lebanon and Hezbollah. And then he started bombing again. And then now he's saying, we're having peaceful talks that are friendly, and we're going to try to sign a deal now. we know what's going on. This is a long-term plan from the U.S. to destabilize Iran. Even if they can't destroy Iran, they want to cut it into small factions where there's civil wars so that they can control that area and make it better for Israel to expand its power in that region, which ends up being controlling the oil and minerals there. That's what this is all about. And at the same time, while Iran is destabilized and its supply of oil to the world is being hurt, the U.S. is meeting that supply so that U.S. oil companies are making money. So all I'm saying is that when you watch TV, don't wish and hope. If you're a fan of Iran, don't wish and hope that this war will end. If you're an American, don't wish and hope that it'll end, that there'll be a true peace treaty. America is an empire that's 250 years old, and never in America's history has it ever surrendered or said, okay, we're going to sign an agreement with you. The way America operates is you do what we say and we destroy you. And the only way you can win against America is to create enough pain for them so that they have to walk away. The way Vietnam did, the way North Korea did, the way Afghanistan did, the way Iraq did. The U.S. lost all these wars eventually because it got tired and it said, these guys aren't giving up, so we just have to stop. So Iran just has to keep on fighting and not give up, and eventually the U.S. will get tired. What are your thoughts, last thoughts, Segodi?
I mean, when you look at US, what they want to do in every country that they go, they want to make sure that they create a civil war. They have people that are with them there in that country. So in Iran, they're failing to do that because they know if they create those type of people that anti the president of Iran or anti, they'll be attacking the country automatic. They don't have to be there, but the country will continue being destabilized. So in Iran, they're failing.
No, so what I would say, Segodi, what I would say is that Iran is winning in the sense that it's blow for blow. Iran, hold on, you're breaking.
They created this small work thing, run the people that not have.
Okay, what I was going to say was, Segodi,
I'm here.
so yeah, so what I'm saying is Iran, in the long term, they're winning this war because every time the U.S. strikes Iran, Iran strikes with equal force on U.S. bases in that area. And another reason I say they're winning the war is that the U.S. keeps running short of munitions and has to go and take more money. Hexac is asking for 350 billion. So what I'm saying is that in a way they're winning because the U.S. keeps on having to stop and pretend and stop. At the same time, Iran is under pressure, but they haven't broken. So long as they don't break, they're winning and they're going to win this war. And it's not going to be possible to break Iran. It's a country of 90 million people. They lost 1 million or 2 million people against Iran during the Iraq war, and they didn't give up. They are 20,000-year-old civilization or 10,000-year-old civilization of Persians. You're not going to beat them. You're going to cause them pain, but you're not going to beat them. The U.S. is 250 years old. Persian culture is thousands of years old. Iran has some of the best nuclear scientists in the world, missile scientists. Their missile warfare is actually superior to America's missile warfare. So what I'm saying is that in the short term, the U.S. is damaging Iran. But so long as Iran doesn't give up, and I don't think they give up because they have the hearts of warriors, they will eventually win. They'll win when the U.S. sees that it's too painful to continue and walks away. What are your last thoughts, Segodi? Yeah.
That front line, make sure that they fight till the end because
Yeah.
if they don't give up, US will definitely just fall down because of the kind of money they use to support that war that they're doing in Iran. It's a lot. It will also come back on them, on their citizen as well. So I think Iran just stays on and then they keep fighting. We know they are warriors. They can withstand this. Of course, they're always gonna cause them so much pain. We know that, but these are the Middle East people. They're used to pain, and they'll stay on.
You can't beat people in the Middle East. You can't beat Iran. You can't beat Hezbollah. You can't beat Hamas. You can't beat the Houthis. And the reason you can't beat them is because then they will just keep fighting, and they'll say kill all of us. The same thing in Vietnam. Vietnam lost 1 million to 2 million people, and they still didn't give up. Eventually, America will give up because it's too expensive, as you said. Thank you, Segodi. Good show. Okay.
Thank you, Mustafa.